Moving cattle or sheep from one pasture to another is vital if you want to improve land health while raising healthy animals. Managers of this large private ranch in Rich County let their cattle graze for just a few weeks at a time before moving them on to, well, greener pastures.
We move to a fresh pasture about every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the size of the pasture. And we do that so that the grass that we've grazed has an opportunity to regrow. You know, now that we've got all this nice rain in June, if we get those cows out of the pasture that they were in, it'll get a chance to regrow. And so by the end of the season, it won't really look like there's even been a cow in there.
The technique is called time-controlled grazing. The animals are moved out of pastures after they have eaten down the grasses to an ideal height. The pasture is allowed to rest more than a year, and as a result, the grass grows back stronger, helping increase plant health and diversity. This is not only good for the livestock, but it's good for the whole environment. More grass means less soil erosion and cleaner water downstream. A healthy range also benefits wildlife, such as sage grouse and other bird species. And antelope, elk, and mule deer benefit too.
With the time-controlled grazing, where you graze a place for a short period of time and then you put a long period of rest in place, as I can tell, that it's kind of the best of both worlds. In other words, the rest that's associated with this kind of grazing makes for real healthy, productive, diverse vegetation. The grazing period is necessary to keep it in that condition. The time-controlled grazing, I am absolutely convinced, is part of what's making the diversity and abundance of wildlife that we see on the ranch possible.
And you can kind of see what this riparian area looks like, and if you want to take a second and walk around here.
The Utah Grazing Improvement Program and the Rich County Conservation District sponsored this tour to demonstrate the land health results of more than 20 years of time-controlled grazing here. These ranchers appear convinced of the value of this grazing system and would like to apply these methods to the 130,000 acres of public lands they lease from the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service. These private, state, and federal partners are working together to explore options regarding using this time-controlled grazing on public lands.
Individually, these ranchers don't have enough land to economically put together a system like this of time-controlled grazing. But when you combine all of those allotments together into one large management unit, they have 130,000 acres, which will work ecologically and economically.
Utah's Grazing Improvement Program is encouraging similar grazing management across the state.
I think we need to go to some kind of this time management grazing and instead of stubble height and get them in, get them out. I've done it with my own place on some pasture. I started 25 years ago where I could run about 40 pair, and now I fenced it off, and now I'm running 120 pair on it.
And the difference is?
I rotate it. I put them in for 10 days, 2 weeks, depending on what the weather's like, what the conditions are like. And
the focus here is on sustainable resource health, with the goal of introducing time-controlled grazing to other ranching areas around the state.